moment I stepped into 8th year all the way to my final year, we've had various labs, not just scholastical but also practical. We've had labs spanning from analysis, modeling and design all the way to biomechanical engineering. At 8th year, the professors not just teach you academically but also draw parallelism to the real world market and make you industry ready.
The department also organizes conferences and workshops for professional interaction to provide best placement and internship opportunities.
Hindustan Academy, located in the midst of all IT activities at Marathahalli, Bangalore, was founded in the year 1983 by Dr. K.C. Samuel. His passion for aviation and teaching made him start the first private flying school in India and set up the Aircraft Engineering Center, specializing in aviation electronics or avionics as per ICAO standards. In the past 3 decades since its inception, the Academy has pushed all boundaries to achieve academic excellence and become a one-stop destination for all careers related to the field of aviation, engineering, and management. We welcome you to become a part of a 36-year legacy and fly high with careers in aviation, engineering, and management.
Sangam Group of Institutions, Kanakpura Road, Bangalore. Admissions open for Bachelor of Engineering in Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, Computer Science and Design, CSE, ECE, Mechanical, Civil, Bachelor of Architecture, MBA. 3 years of Diploma. Call 9606064186 or 187 or 188.
Shaheen Group of Institutions, one of the leading and premier abodes of learning in India. Nestled in a picturesque locale of Bidar, a hilltop city in northeastern part of Karnataka. Shaheen evoked by the visionary icon and chairman Dr. Abdul Qadir back in 1989. Now it's a major hub of academic excellence, touching the lives of more than 16,000 students across the world.
Hello everyone, a warm welcome to the second day of the Hindu Education Plus Career Counseling Digital Conclave. I'm Anuja Ganesh from the Hindu group and I'll be moderating this session. Thanks to the parents and students who have participated in this webinar series. Thanks to the sponsors for making this possible. Our gold sponsors are from Bengaluru, AMC Education Institutions, Atria Institute of Technology, Insight IAS, and our silver sponsors are Sir M. Vishweswaraya Institute of Engineering, Hindustan Business School, KS Group of Institutions, Shaheen Group of Institutions, Bidar, Rajarajeshwari Group of Institutions, Bengaluru, Ramaya University, Bengaluru. We shall begin our session on medicine as a noble profession. We have with us Dr. C.N. Manjunath, IIM Bengaluru. To say a few words about the doctor, he is a senior cardiologist and director of Sri Jayadeva Institute of Cardiovascular Sciences and Research, Bengaluru. Under his leadership, the institute has recorded 500% overall growth. He has introduced the practice of treatment first, payment next concept. He has implemented the concept that every needy patient should be given quality treatment irrespective of financial affordability. He has contributed much more to the society. He has received Lifetime Achievement Awards. He has teaching experience of over 34 years and experience in the medical profession over 40 years. Thank you, Doctor, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Request you to guide our budding students for a bright career in medicine. Over to you, Doctor.
First of all, I'm very thankful to Hindu Education Conclave Plus Career Counseling Program. In fact, it's a great occasion to address our young aspirants who are going to be the torchbearers in various fields in this country. And of course, for the last 24 hours, we have been doing this. Yesterday also, there was a program to educate and also to really bring an awareness about the various activities taking place in various fields. So today, I'm going to talk about the importance of medical profession. See, every profession has its own glamour and flavor. Only thing is there has to be a commitment, and there has to be one has to be compassionate. One has to be really passionate about any profession. I'm not telling one profession is great and other profession is less glamorous. So every profession has its own glamour, and every profession has its own flavor, provided if there is an absolute commitment, and if there is, and we should always able to enjoy whatever field you choose. We should able to enjoy, and we should be able to love that particular profession. So particularly this class 10 and class 12, these are the two important game changer points in anybody's, in any student's life. And what are the choices? So today there are many choices before our students. And today the children education has become parent examination. So even the parents also has to be part of this education process, and also for choosing a particular career, for particular profession, particularly because the speed, we are talking about speed on one side, we are talking about the direction of education. The speed of learning, okay, it's important, but the direction of education is also equally important. And see, walking with confidence is most important and is more important than running with confusion. So again, I repeat, walking with confidence is more important than running with confusion. Obviously, the courses, particularly after standard 12, many students want to get into their, subjects or the professions of choice, because that is going to be a turning point in their academic life or academic career. The whole objective of these courses is not just to get educated and try to become rich. You should also understand the value of life than the price of life. The value of life is more important than the cost of life. That's very, very important. And again, today we have multiple choices, multiple courses, because there is explosion of technology, and explosion of technology as virtually seen across all sectors, across all professions. So coming back to medical profession, yes, it is considered as a noble profession, and everybody wants to, particularly the courses we choose, either already some parents have decided, and the children also, students might have already decided which course they are going to join, whether it is medical, whether it is engineering, whether it is law, whether it is accountancy or basic sciences to become scientist in various fields. So any field is okay. As I've already said, we should always, we should join these courses with your own joy, with your own choice, and it should not be under any compulsion. This is the key factor. And just because some your relative children are studying some courses, or your neighborhood people are studying some courses, never go for comparisons while choosing your profession or choosing your next level of education. So in fact, who is doctor? A doctor, there are many types of doctors. See, doctor by definition, a doctor is one who finds out solution and he cures the problem. See, medical doctor is one, he cures the disease, he always cures the, he treats the patient and treats, makes them better. That is called medical doctor. There are other doctors also. See, for example, somebody fixed the engineering problems, then he is a doctor in that engineering profession. Or somebody, he fixes problems in social sector, he is called a social doctor. Anyway, let me talk about a medical doctor. See, this is one profession that can give new lease of life to the suffering. And this is one profession who can always make a sick patient a normal person. And this is the only profession where a doctor is the first person to see the baby even before mother can look at the baby. See, mother sees the baby after doctor sees the newborn baby. See, there's a very popular saying, there are three professions. The one who works with the hand is a craftsman. The other one, the works with brain and hand, is an artist. But there is another person who works with hand, works with brain, and works with heart, is called a doctor. A doctor is one who works with hand, works with heart, and works with the brain. And so all these three things are put together into this medical profession. See, if you look at this history or the epidemiological perspective of human life, maybe about 100 years ago, maybe even 80 years back, average life expectancy of a doctor average life expectancy of a human being, particularly in India, the lifespan was somewhere around 40 years. Today, the average lifespan of an Indian is somewhere around 67 or 68 years. it's all because of this medical profession. And whether it is doctor, medical profession doesn't mean it's only a doctor. It involves nurses, it involves paramedical staff, and it involves a lot of other supporting staff. See, if you look at the problem, for example, the earlier people were dying because of infections. Maybe about 60 pre-independence, you take 1940s or 1950, they were all dying because of infection, and they were dying because of malnutrition. And these were the two common causes of death at that time. So today, if a person is living with a better quality of life at 65 or 70 years on an average, and many now, because of advance in medicine, because of various preventive measures that we are taking, the average lifespan is still moving upwards, even into 70s or 75. So this is one of the biggest contribution of this medical profession. So another interesting thing I wanted to know, I think many of our students and their parents want to put their children in medical profession. Yes, definitely, I've already alluded to, this is one profession where your community is going to appreciate, and your neighborhood is going to appreciate, and particularly the amount of gratitude the patients and the relatives that they shower on you is unimaginable. So that gives a lot of satisfaction. Many times we treat a patient, comes with heart attack, he has a cardiac arrest, he's revived, and we do some procedures like angiogram, angioplasty, or open heart surgery, and you can see the smile on the face of the patient and the relatives when they are leaving the hospital. That cannot be measured by any amount of money or any amount of praises. So this is where the community is going to recognize you and respect you. See, on the other day, I was just going to Kalburgi, because we have a Jaideva hospital at Kalburgi too. So in fact, I was just coming out of the airport, all of a sudden 2 people came and they were touching my feet. Then I asked him, what is this? Because they don't know that I am coming. So they could able to recognize me even I was wearing a mask. So they could, if somebody is recognizing you when you are wearing a mask, means really you are made some, contribution to the mankind or contribution to the society. Then they were telling, sir, about 11 years back, I came to your hospital and you treated my daughter. She was around 12 years then, and she had a heart hole. Now she's totally cured. He also said, sir, at that time we had less money. You did not bother about that. And that procedure, open heart surgery, was conducted with just 30,000 rupees. And now she's studying. In fact, he said she's studying 2nd MBBS. So that is the greatest feeling you get whenever somebody says, sir, you have saved my mother, you have saved my daughter, you have saved my wife, you saved my husband. So I think that is the reason there is a lot of nobility into this profession. Another thing I wanted to know, who is your best partner? Is your parent, is your friends, or is your colleagues, or is your teacher? Your best partner or your best companion is your own body, because this is going to live as long as you are there. So that is the reason you should, this is one profession which introduces your entire body to yourself. So there is a lot of inquisitiveness, lot of interest. And in fact, we talk about 7 wonders. In my opinion, the biggest of all wonders, the only unique wonder is this great human body. Because we talk about supercomputer, we talk about heart. I think there is a lot of interest in this. I will just give an example. Heart is a fascinating structure. And this is one structure which can never sleep. If heart sleeps, means that is end of this life. So there is lot of, in fact, that is the reason this creation of human body is the biggest of all wonders that you can ever think of. The brain is like a supercomputer. Many people say, no, the supercomputer. Who has designed the supercomputer? Supercomputer is designed by a man. So the brain is bigger than supercomputer. You look at the heart. See, heart beats somewhere around 70 to 80 beats per minute. It pumps about 5 liters of blood per minute. And in a day, a heart beats somewhere around 1 lakh beats per day and pumps about 7,500 liters of blood. So that is the amount of work the heart does. So within the human body, there is a lot of structures. There is mechanical engineering is also taking place in the heart, because heart, many doesn't know, it generates a lot of electricity, and it also pumps. The pumping, there is also physics in heart. There is mechanical engineering in the heart. So this is the reason I think that makes a lot of interest. Then coming to, for example, it's interesting to know about the human body beyond this. If somebody in this modern world dies before 60 years, then it is their own fault. So it is very essential and imperative to really take care of our health, particularly of late. Nearly 50% of deaths in India is due to lifestyle diseases. So what are these lifestyle diseases? There are 5 to 6 lifestyle diseases. Number 1 is heart disease. Second is diabetes. Third is stroke. Fourth is fourth is cancer. Fifth, I think this is, I'm coming to this important, a new addition of lifestyle disease, what is called loneliness and screen addiction. Of course, we are talking because of this COVID pandemic, we are addressing these webinars. So in fact, on one side, we are seeing COVID-19 pandemic. On the other side, we are seeing this webinar pandemic also. So we are forced to teach and learn through webinar because of this pandemic. So if you look at this scenario of heart diseases, 25% of deaths in India, 25% of deaths in India is due to heart diseases. And another very unfortunate thing that is happening in India is 30% of heart attack that occur today is below 40 years of age. So young Indians and middle-aged Indians are becoming more vulnerable to heart diseases. It's a very sorry state of affairs. Our young generation are becoming more and more prone for heart diseases, diabetes, stroke. This is where we are talking about physical health. We are talking about intelligent IQ. We are talking about always in this session IQ. In my opinion, more than IQ, the EQ is also important. What is this EQ? Emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, because there are 3 types of intelligence. One is intrinsic intelligence, second is emotional intelligence, and third is artificial intelligence. Today, we are all being fascinated by artificial intelligence or machine learning and all, but most important that cannot be replaced is your intrinsic and emotional intelligence. So I call upon my young students and young generation of students, particularly you should promote and also you should inculcate emotional intelligence. That is extremely important. I already said confidence is the superpower. You believe in yourself and self-esteem is the key. And with positive outlook, even problems can become opportunities. While with negative attitude, your solutions become problems. So this is where you should believe in yourself, and that is an extremely important thing. And always keep expectation at moderate range. This is why I am emphasizing this. See, just about a week back, I had seen a medical student who is 21 years coming to Jaideva with a heart attack. On the other day, a 24-year-old aspirant for IAS examination was coming with some heart problem. So that is the reason, yes, we have to get into this profession. It's a great noble profession. Stress management. And what is stress? Stress is nothing but difference between, is the gap between expectation and performance. If expectations are more than the performance, then we'll end up in stress. So that is the reason. One of the problem of our, present day student is trying to do too many things in a too short time, putting them under tremendous stress. So we have to go step by step. Example is those who go up by stairs, always they reach the top. Those who try to go by escalator, sometimes they slip. So I think the medical profession is a wonderful profession. I've already said a lot of innovations have taken place in the medical profession. I've already said the life expectancy, which was somewhere around 40 years, about 70, 80 years back. Now we are touching 70 years. The quality of life is a lot better. It is all because of advances in medical profession. Then, yes, I've already said, many of you and your parents have already decided, yes, about the future educational career, which course they should take, which subjects they have to go in. And so another important thing, medical profession is a long journey, because you have to do an undergraduate course, that is MBBS, maybe 5.5 years, 4.5 plus 1. Then we have a broader specialty, what is called MD or MS. And now the third level of education is a super specialty, because organ-wise there is specialization. Organ-wise there is specialization. For the heart we call cardiologist, for the brain we call neurologist or a neurosurgeon, then for liver, hepatologist, then for every organ there is a specialization. To that extent the medical profession has grown. See, earlier you look at the various diseases, even about maybe about 50 years back, somebody with typhoid fever, they were dying because of typhoid fever. Even they used to die of gastroenteritis. Even they were dying of malaria. So for a simple, so all these diseases are today can be cured effectively. Typhoid is a 100% cure. Malaria is also 100% cure. And for this, actually, a lot of people have contributed for the growth of medical science. I will just give an example. Polio is virtually eradicated. The Stark and Sabin discovered a polio vaccine. If they have not discovered a polio vaccine, this world would have been seeing lakhs and lakhs of crippled, disabled people. So this is the greatest contribution. Then, as far as today, heart attack, earlier we are, suppose if somebody develops heart attack, earlier the death rate used to be around say 30%. Today, with a modern treatment, with a timely treatment, if they get into the hospital within 2 to 3 hours of symptoms of developing heart attack, yes, the cure rate can be as high as 94, 95%. So this is the beauty of this medical profession. And another thing is, for example, you look at today, we have gone up to the extent of organ transplantation. Heart can be transplanted, replaced, and kidney can be replaced. Even heart valves can be replaced. See, earlier, all patients, majority of cardiac patients are requiring open heart surgery. Today, 50% of cardiac patients who were earlier requiring heart surgery can be treated without any open heart surgery by way of angioplasty and stenting procedure. Even heart holes can be closed by devices, umbrella devices, and pacemakers can be, of course, we have a pacemaker in our heart. That is how it generates. Coming back to this heartbeat, it's quite, just to create some interest among our students, heart beats at a rate of 70 to 80 beats per minute. And we have a pacemaker inside the heart, God-given pacemaker. And in a day, heart beats close to 1 lakh beats per minute. So, and in that whole process, see, there is a correlation between your heart rate and your lifespan. See, if the body surface area is big, heart rate will be always small. Human beings, we have a heart rate of 70 to 80 beats per minute. With anxiety, it can go up to 90. If you are appearing for NEET examination, your heart rate can go up to 110, 120. When you are expecting your results, it can go up to 120. That is how the human body responds. And you look at the heart rate and the lifespan. We have this whale, one of the biggest animal. Its heart rate is 5 to 10 beats per minute. You look at the bird, which is a very small bird, hummingbird. Its heart rate is 700 to 800 beats per minute. So this is the beauty of this body, this thing. And another important thing, yes, the medical courses I was talking about. Now we have got paramedical courses also. Apart from MBBS, apart from medicine and related courses, we have a paramedical courses also. These paramedical courses such as BSc in cardiac care technology, BSc in OT technology, we have BSc in perfusion technology, and BSc in OT technology, BSc in critical care. Many students after PUC, they are taking, those who have high scores, they are taking such courses also, and they also work in tandem with the doctors in, for example, an echo technician. He images the heart, finds out what are the problems inside the heart, and whether, and based, so imaging, even MRI technicians, CT technicians. So these are all courses, and I mean, they're all job oriented courses. They also, there is a lot of opportunity because, for example, in India today, there are about close to 580 medical colleges. There are 580 medical colleges, and in Karnataka, we have 60 medical colleges. So there are medical colleges are in plenty in South India, and probably they are a bit less in north and eastern part of India. On an average, Karnataka is producing around 6,000 doctors annually. And in India, about 75,000 doctors. And definitely, as far as Karnataka, yes, it is going to be a challenge. It is a competitive field. Definitely, suppose if you get into the profession, I personally feel you should always have a determination, you should have a passion, you should have a love for the profession, and you should never ever go for comparison. What happens, you take a medicine subject and your own friend takes an engineering subject, after 4 years or 6 years is already employed. And while at the end of 6 years, you're still studying, maybe this is where you have to be patient. You have to be patient because it's a long course, but at the end of the day, it is going to be it will definitely give a celebrity status. If you really work hard, then you become popular among the people, popular among the patients, and community. Ultimately, that community recognition gives a lot of satisfaction. Then again, another important thing, whenever you are joining these medical colleges or any other, particularly the medical courses, you have to join those colleges where the caseload of the patient is good, because ultimately the textbooks, okay, we have various textbooks, we have hard copies, we have online copies, we have videos, because of this digitalization and digital world. But whenever you are joining a medical college, you have to get into a college where the patient caseload is high. That provides a fantastic opportunity for you, because ultimately your textbooks are your patients, because only through the patients you are going to learn a lot of things, right from your anatomy, where a dissection occurs, you are going to do. Just for information, it's interesting, yes, there are some organs God has given, there are some organs, there are 2 in number, there are some organs 1 in number. For example, heart is 1, brain is also 1, but there are 2 eyes and 2 kidneys and 2, your reproductive system, ovaries or whatever it is. So it gives a lot of, because nowadays what happened, there are some new medical colleges where caseload is very small and there are very less number of patients, and learning goes on with your mannequins, learning goes on with your skill lab. Nowadays we have what is called skill lab also. So that is the reason, ultimately the experience, that is the reason doctors should always follow a mantra of 3 T's: talk, touch, and treat. See, we should always talk to the patient and we should touch the patient. See, nowadays, in these days of explosion of technology, we are seeing their x-rays, we are seeing their ECGs on WhatsApp, or seeing them on computers or tabs and all. And ultimately, the most neglected person is the patient. That physical touch gives a lot of confidence to the patient. And also, they also believe, here is a doctor who is caring for me. What is care? What is care? Care means, number one, C for compassion, A for attention, R for respect, and E for empathy. So when you say the word care, that means you are taking care of that patient, you are taking care of your friend or neighborhood, though care can be used for anything else. So that is the reason the talk, touch, and treat. And as students, you should have always focus on 4 C's, very important. One is compassion, second is concentration, third is communication, and fourth is consistency. This is extremely important, whichever field you choose, whether it's medicine or non-medicine or whatever it is. And you should be able to enjoy, you should be able to love that. There is a difference between I like and I love. I like is different. I like you means, for example, I like a flower means I will pluck it. If I love the flower, I will water it. So there is a difference between, so definitely you should like, rather than like it, you should always love a particular profession, love your job, and anything you do under pressure will not yield maximum results. Micro changes can bring macro transformation. Very, very important. See, don't have any inferiority that, no, I joined some other course. I should have joined, no regret. Even what you feel is a low profile profession, if there is a commitment, if there is a hard work, then who knows, you can come out with innovation in that field itself. So that is the reason, take these things step by step. This is very, very important. Then coming back to disease burden in India, 25% of deaths in India are due to cardiovascular disease. And I think India is a world capital of heart disease and world capital of diabetes. 7 crores Indians are having diabetes, and another 7 crores are on the verge of getting diabetes. So these are the real, because these all lifestyle has changes, food habits have changed, food products have changed. And coming back to our lungs, because I think in the last 1.5 years, we are always talking about breathing, we are talking about lungs because of COVID-19 pandemic. So all this is going on. I mean, because till then we were never, common man was not knowing about oxygen saturation. Now everybody knows about oxygen saturation. See, but for medical profession, globally, 22 crores have been affected with COVID. 22 crores, maybe 23 crores now, the present statistics. Then nearly 45 to 50 lakhs have died due to COVID. In India, nearly 4.5 crores have been affected with COVID. And yes, about 5 lakhs people have died in India. 5 lakhs people died in India due to COVID. But for this profession, this number would have been unimaginable. It would have run into multiples and multiples of deaths would have taken place. So human suffering would have been there. Because in this COVID-19 pandemic, although we say it is a viral disease, there were 2 diseases in this one disease. One is a virus disease, other is what is called a mental disease also, because people were scared to talk to each other, scared to see each other, because any other diseases you would have gone nearer them, you would have fed them, you would have, the relatives or the family members would have slept with them. But this is one unfortunate situation. But thanks to medical profession, within 1 year, they could come out with a COVID vaccine. Within 1 year, they could come out with the COVID vaccine. Today, 65% of population in India have been vaccinated, at least with 1 dose, another 30% with the 2 doses of vaccine. This is because of tremendous advances in medical science. See, nature is always ahead of technology. That you should always keep in mind. See, nature is always ahead of technology, and nature doesn't want men, doesn't want people, but people wants nature. Unfortunately, if you try to tinker nature, nature hits back. See, why tsunami is happening? Why this hurricane is happening? Is it because of the climate change? Air pollution is happening. So at the same time, for example, 100 years back, there was a swine flu which swept the entire world, killing crores and crores of people. Then another 100 years back, if you go, then there was something like plague. That's what our forefathers used to have written, that even that has swept the world, killing, crores of people. Exactly every 100 years, this is happening. 1819, it has happened, plague. Then 1918, the swine flu. Then 2019 or 2019, every 100 years. So that is the reason you have to respect nature. Nature is always ahead of technology. See, even for example, you take, you are today talking about our education took us from thumb impression to the technology. Now technology is taking back us to thumb impression. Wherever you go now, you have to biometrics, you have to put your thumb impression. Go to passport or immigration, you have to put thumb impression. That is the reason. Then talking about the advances that has taken place in medical profession today, vaccines. Earlier, vaccine was taking about 10 years, 15 years to develop. Because we have a fantastic genetic platform today available, we could able to give vaccine within 1 year. As a result, crores of lives are going to be saved. This is very, very important. Today, yes, even robotic surgeries have come. Robotic, of course, now there are many types of doctors. We have cardiologists, we have physicians, we have neurologists. Even in medical profession, any subject you take, for example, maybe about 10 years back, this basic sciences like microbiology or pharmacology were not a high profile subjects. Today, they are on top because of this COVID-19 pandemic. And India is extremely strong in pharmaceutical companies, and they are producing various drugs. They are, discovering, they are active in developing drugs and discovering new drugs. India is exporting nearly 30% of the globally required medicines to the various countries, including United States and America. Yes, earlier, we all used to go abroad for various training. Now, things have changed. Lot of foreigners are visiting Indian medical institution for training. You take, for example, Jaideva Institute of Cardiovascular Science. We are training cardiologists from United States, Vietnam, China, Japan, UK. Yes, I am not against people going abroad for learning. Definitely, youngsters, because there is some people are obsessed right from the beginning. No, so I should go abroad. I should go abroad. Fine. You can always go abroad for learning. You can, to see different, how world is different from rest of the country and all, that is fine. But I just wanted to emphasize India has made a tremendous advance. Today, health tourism is quite active in India. A lot of people are coming from abroad for treatment of cardiac diseases, orthopedic surgeries, cosmetic surgeries, and also for various naturopathy is also another area where India is attracting. So that is the reason whenever, yes, definitely, I wish many of you are interested and you are going to take a medical profession, and don't go for comparison. Again, I will tell you, this is one thing, it can cause some sort of anxieties, depression also. You should never get into depression at any time. Even for example, that is called life. There has to be up and down, then only there is life. For example, you take an ECG, you look at the tracing, there will be up and down, waves will be there. That means that person is alive. If the ECG is straight line, means he's dead. If you take an ECG and a dead person, it shows a straight line, ups and downs. And failure should not take away anything from you. You take, for example, IAS and IPS successful candidates. Many of them would not have passed in first attempt. Try. Even if you have fallen sixth time, if you get up seventh time, I'm not telling that, I'm not trying to discourage you through this statement, but I'm just trying to emphasize, if you believe entire my education career should go up the ladder like a straight line, then sometimes down the line you will be disappointed. There will be ups and downs. That is the law of nature. There has to be, you just look at the waves. Sun is a typical example. Sun rises, but again set, but again it comes back in the morning. So that sort of an attitude you should always have. And you should, of course, all of you have a dream. And yes, dream can only give rise to a name. To get a dream, you should get a very good sleep. But to achieve a dream, then you have to spend sleepless nights also. That is very, very important. And confidence is extremely important. Confidence, in my definition, it does not come when you know all the answers, but confidence comes when you have got an ability to face all questions. That is very, very important. And this world is created for everybody. One should not be under the impression that it is created only for few people. And again, dedication is more important than designation. Sincerity is more important than seniority. And values are more important than valuables. And mindset is more important than marks. And yes, efforts are more important than the results. This is, again, I want to emphasize, efforts are more important than the results. And yes, always parents, that many parents have seen, they want their children to be a doctors. That's what I have seen. Either because somebody in their family are doctors, or somebody in the neighborhood are doctors, or they might have themselves, liking the profession. But most important, particularly what I have seen is, when your own classmate is a software engineer, by the age of 23, he is earning about 70,000 or maybe 1 lakh, you will be still doing night duties, but you should not get perturbed. So even when you get married also, so the same thing has happened. In fact, I got 2 master degrees after the marriage. I married when I was first year MD. Then I continued. My wife always used to tell, I am your second wife because your first wife is medicine. So that's how it goes on. So you should have a full commitment for all those things. And this profession is noble for a simple reason, because you are giving a new lease of life, and you are virtually making a sick person a healthy person, and you are going to improve the quality of life. And this is where this profession remains nobility. But another thing, as far as medical profession is concerned, money may not come immediately. There should not, because nowadays in this competitive world, everybody wants to take some professions where you can get money early, but money also should not come at an early age. If too much of money comes at an early age, it spoils your I think lifestyle, and also that your attitude also might change. So money for a doctor might come little later, but it continues to come. Money we all need, definitely, but money alone cannot make you happy. And this is one of the greatest contribution you can give to the mankind through this profession. And kindness should be there. And whoever is taking this profession should have a kindness. Kindness makes the person most beautiful. So however physically you may be looking. So this is where the professional nobility is there. And another important thing I wanted to emphasize here, medicine is a science of uncertainty and also an art of probability. So it's not 1 + 1 is always 2. Yes, this you have to strive hard, you have to work hard, but it is all for understanding. Definitely, this is, we have various courses. I've already said, even dentistry also comes under medicine, that also I've got a scope. But most important is you should understand the importance of life, because life is one which cannot be measured by any amount of money or any amount of gift. This is the greatest gift you can give to the sufferings. This is the greatest gift, that is cure. Because, and another important thing, whenever we are treating a patient, we should always understand the financial background of the patient. In general, I am talking about. So because we at Jaideva Institute of Cardiovascular Sciences, we are working on a novel slogan that life is more important than the file. Treatment first, payment next, and humanity is priority. And definitely this particular, this profession will bring a lot of joy to yourself and to your family. And anyway, I think I can take some questions if somebody is interested. And one important thing is going to be a long innings. There is nothing like it's not a T20 match or a one-day match in the medical profession. And because you should never stop learning, because life never stop teaching. You should continue to be a student throughout your life, whether it is a medical profession or you become a lawyer or any other profession, because you should, just because what we get in university is the, we read curriculum, we read the text and we get degrees. But as far as the practice is concerned, you should continue to be a student throughout your life. That is very, very important, because then only if somebody thinks if he knows everything after getting a degree, I think is the most ignorant person in my opinion. So learning from each other makes you more perfect, and mistakes can be there. Failure, we talk about failure. What is failure? Is first attempt in learning is failure. And there is nothing like an end. End means that is effort never dies, in my opinion. So I think you should move on. And definitely this is a great profession. You can add lot of years to the life, and also you can add life to the years. As a doctor, you can add life to the years. You can also add years to the life, and definitely you can enjoy this profession. And yes, I've already said, I think the blessings of the people and blessing of the patient is unmatched. I could say it's impeccable. And just about 1 hour back, one patient came from Tirupati. He was offering me prasada, sir, in your name, we prayed for your health. So this sort of blessing can never come up in any profession. So thank you very much.
So true, Doctor. Thank you so much for guiding and inspiring our students. We'll move to the Q&A sessions. The first question is, one moment, sir. There is a contrasting reality between medical advances and affordability. For example, 3 decades ago, except critical illness, medical cost is affordable and insurance was not required. Now, affordability is a question due to insurance, TPA, and hospitals run by business managers and not doctors. Will the government fix this crucial and basic challenge?
Yeah, this is where actually intellectual honesty is more important. Yeah, of course, honesty can be always in different terms, but intellectual honesty is important. Whenever you are treating a patient, understand the financial background of the patient. Within the financial bracket, how best you can give a quality treatment at an affordable cost. That is one doctor has to think. Another thing, for example, we know pretty well, patient is in a very sick, serious condition. He has reached a stage of end stage disease. and whatever you do is not going to survive. And in that scenario, we should always call the patient's attenders and the family and talk to them. Look, patient, whatever you do, you cannot recover. He has reached a stage of untreatability and no point in continuing his treatment. Otherwise, what happens? We keep them on ventilator, on life support for months and months. Ultimately, bill will be 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs. The one who is dead, and the one who survives are also financially dead. So that thing has to be there. Then, yes, there are some, I agree, today there is commercialization in all sectors. Even medical profession is also no exception. And actually, this is where we have to develop and promote these public institutions. For example, you take Jayadeva Institute of Cardiology. We do India's highest number of angioplasty and stents. We do world's highest number of balloon mitral valvuloplasty. If a public institution is providing a quality care at an affordable cost, and it acts like a market regulator. If public institutions have failed, then there is no option for the people. They have to go, they have to sell their jewelry, understand, they will sell their property to get treated. So this is where we need to strengthen the public health care system, and public sectors have to be promoted. And again, ultimately it boils down to, because equipment alone cannot deliver services, building alone cannot deliver services, and leadership qualities are extremely important. Even for that matter, even our young students, whichever profession they are going to take, they should develop a good communication skill. Also, a leadership qualities also should come.
Very true. So our next question is from Kirtana. Although people are grateful to doctors, in rural areas, MBBS students who are going to rural bond are getting beaten up. Although doctors feel so happy when they see a smile on the patient's face, they also see many deaths. Some because of lack of facility. This is affecting the doctor's mental health. Is the doctor profession really good in India?
Yeah, I think there is good and bad. It's both are there. I agree. In fact, we have been telling, I have raised this on many occasions. Although India, there is no dearth for doctors, many are not willing to go to the villages. Particularly to the peripheral hospital, because I agree, doctors in many places are beaten, abused, harassed by the local representatives. One has to create a very good working atmosphere, and there is also law in place. If anybody is attacking doctor, abusing doctor, there is a non-bailable warrant, and there is non-bailable punishment is available. Unfortunately, what is happening is doctors who are beaten are where, because see, the onus is on the doctor is to provide a quality care or whatever possible in a timely care within their own limits. Despite giving a timely treatment and a good treatment, the patient doesn't survive, then abuses and unnecessarily doctor should not be blamed. Doctor should not be blamed. But one of the problem here, what is happening is, although the law is in place, enforcement is not happening, number one. Number two is, many doctors are afraid to lodge a complaint against the people, those who have harassed them or beaten them or assaulted them. This is a real problem that is happening in bigger institutions. We are all protected. In smaller places, in villages, a smaller hospital, there is a fear, but people should understand, otherwise this profession will not grow, and we might reach a stage where doctors and hospital will refuse treating critical cases.
Okay. Very true. This is from Balakrishna. Is Ayush option is good to join if MBBS is not available? Please suggest.
Yeah, anyway, it's left to the individual choice actually. Nowadays, Ayush also has, particularly this naturopathy, also has its own value. It has another important value addition. But only thing is, they have to practice the subject, practice the profession in which they are trained. There should not be any crossover. That's very, very important. So if they don't get into MBBS, they can always take that one also. Even this BSc courses in technology, medical technology is also another thing, because they are also closely working with the patients and the hospitals. That is another thing. Particularly this naturopathy, many musculoskeletal disorders, many chronic illnesses, particularly they are also playing a role. For example, back problem, orthopedic problem, or knee problems, joint pains, medicines, because medicines, if taken in higher doses, behaves like a poison. So that is the reason, that is where some of these courses also will have its own role in treatment of some diseases.
True. This is from Sujit Jadhav. Is it good to try UPSC after MBBS? Do you think it is a waste of medical seat, or do you think medical knowledge is in IAS, IPS profession?
Yeah. And the only thing is many IAS officers and IPS officers are doctors. Nowadays, in the last 10 to 15 years, many doctors are getting into this UPSC services. That's fine.
So they can go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. This is from Keshav. There are many courses after MBBS. How to choose the course which is good to take?
Now, after MBBS, yes, there are broader specialties. Either it all depends on your individual choice and individual interest. There are various courses like medicine, MD medicine, surgery, or gynecology, then pediatrics, then, for example, ENT, ophthalmology. So various courses are there. See, particularly in the last 3 years, the number of postgraduate seats have been increased. So the number of MBBS seats in India is around 80,000, and number of postgraduate seats are close to 50,000. So every second MBBS student has a chance of getting into post-graduation, because MBBS today is just an introduction to medical science. So it's a basic introduction to medical science, and definitely they have to, and it's among non-clinical subject, pharmacology has a good scope, because nowadays Indian pharmaceutical industry is quite robust. They are opening a lot of R&D centers, research and development centers, and they are developing new drugs, and they're exporting. Even microbiology has come on the scene because of this viral pandemic. So I think all these courses, but only thing is there is a hectic competition. I fully agree. But in that whole scenario of hectic competition, you should not lose out on moral values and ethics and evidences.
Doctor, can we take one last question?
Yes.
This is from Wafa. Doctor, other than NEET, can we enter into medical profession?
Other than?
NEET exam there.
Yeah, other than NEET, no, there is no way you can enter to. Another, yes, this is another important thing I wanted to emphasize. Many are obsessed to get into medical profession. Their parents and them. I think here there is a lot of parental pressure also. That's what I have been seeing. Many students, when they are coming to super specialty, they are a bit depressed. Someone no, sir, I was not interested. My mom forced me. My father forced me. I think we should never ever force any of their, students, their children into this one. And the only way of getting into medical profession in India is through NEET only. There is no other issue. Although there are some petitions against this particular thing in Tamil Nadu, they are objecting NEET examination, but there is no final word on that. Another important thing is many are going abroad. Whenever they are not getting an MBBS seat in India, they are going to some countries. Be careful about that. They have got excellent, amazing, colorful websites offering courses, particularly in some old Russian countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, all those, even in Philippines and all, they have burned their fingers. So be careful whenever you are going to some of these countries for medical profession, because even after passing medical degrees from those countries, whether it is Philippines, whether it is Russia, or whether it is Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan or some other countries, they have to take an exit examination in India. They have to get through the exit examination, then only they will be licensed to practice in India. That is one word of caution. But some people, scenarios we have seen where they have gone, because advance fees have been paid in India through some RTGS or money transfer. When they go there, the college is not existing. And even if colleges are existing, after some time they are closing. Be careful unless you have got a concrete full evidence that that particular institution is doing well. So about this, of course, I'm not talking about America, England, or European nation. They are fine, but I'm talking about some of these Southeast Asian countries where they are offering courses, particularly Philippines and but even Russia, China. Even in China, there are some fake medical universities. One should be careful about that.
Thank you so much for your time, Doctor, for inspiring our students and the parents too. Thank you for your time. And on this note, I would like to thank the students and the parents for being a part of this session. And I would request the students that they would inform their friends, families, and neighbors to benefit from this webinar series, and they can also join us. And without our sponsors for making this possible, I would like to thank our sponsors. Our gold sponsors are AMC Education Institutions, Atria Institute of Technology, Insight IAS, and our winner sponsors are Sir M. Vishweswaraya Institute of Engineering, Hindustan Business School, KS Group of Institutions, Shaheen Group of Institutions, Bidar, Rajarajeshwari Group of Institutions, Bengaluru, Ramaya University, Bengaluru. Thank you all. And our next session will begin at 2:30. And we'll have with us for CET counseling, Mr. A.S. Ravi. Please do join us there. Thank you.